In 1936, the United States Army did something no other nation had attempted. It entrusted every frontline soldier with a semi-automatic rifle. One weapon came from the mind of a self-taught engineer named John Garand. By war's end, nearly 4 million would be forged, and the men who carried them believed it was the reason they came home alive. How did one rifle change the entire equation of modern warfare? John Cantius. Garand's journey began far from the roar of battlefields. He was a quiet, methodical man, a Canadian immigrant who arrived in the United States as a child and taught himself the craft of machines. By the early 1930s, the world was changing. The scars of the Great War had left the United States Army searching for answers. Soldiers still marched with bolt-action rifles, outpaced by the rising storm of mechanized warfare in Europe and beyond. The Army needed something more, a weapon that could tip the balance for the common infantryman. Inside the walls of the Springfield Armory, Garand worked late into the night. He studied the failures of earlier designs: gas leaks, unreliable feeding, bolts that jammed under pressure. Each setback became a lesson. By 1932, he had shaped steel and wood into a new kind of rifle, one that harnessed the force of fired gas to drive a piston, cycle the bolt, and load the next round. 8 shots, fired as fast as a man could pull the trigger, with no need to work a bolt between each shot. It was a leap forward, but the Army demanded perfection. Trials at Springfield and Aberdeen. Proving ground pushed the rifle to its limits. The end-block clip, the heart of Garand's system, had to withstand mud, cold, and the relentless pace of combat. On January 9th, 1936, the Ordnance Board made its decision. The United States rifle, caliber .30 M1, John Garand's creation, was officially adopted by the Army. In that moment, the quiet engineer's vision left the drafting table and entered the arsenal of a nation preparing for war. The Army's faith in Garand's invention would soon be tested on a scale the world had never seen. For now, the blueprint was set. The next challenge was forging this weapon in numbers great enough to arm an entire generation. Inside the brick walls of Springfield Armory, the air trembled with the clang of steel and the hum of ambition. The blueprints had left the drawing board, and now the challenge was to arm an entire nation. Rows of machinists in oil-stained aprons bent over lathes, cutting and shaping the heart of the M1 Garand. Sparks flew as barrels were forged and bolts were milled to thousandths of an inch. Every hour, the assembly line stretched longer, fed by endless deliveries of walnut stocks and crates of .30-06 ammunition. By 1942, the scale was staggering. Springfield alone was turning out over 1,000 rifles a day. Across the country in Connecticut, Winchester's factory thundered through the night, its workforce swollen with new hands, farmers' sons, recent immigrants, and women called from kitchens and classrooms to the war effort. The rhythm of production became its own kind of battlefront. In January 1944, the numbers reached their zenith. 122,001 Garands were completed in a single month, each one destined for a soldier's hands. By the war's end, nearly 4 million rifles had rolled off American lines, every one stamped with the promise of survival and sacrifice. Each rifle cost the government between $45 and $55, a small fortune in Depression-era America, yet a bargain for the hope it carried. The scale of output was more than industrial pride, it was a lifeline. The Garand was no longer a solitary innovation, it was a river of firepower, flowing from the heartland to every squad, every foxhole, every desperate stand. The rifle's ubiquity would soon change the very rhythm of combat, giving American infantrymen a weapon that could match their courage, round for round, shot for shot. Pulling the trigger on the M1, Garand sets a chain reaction in motion, one born of precision engineering and the raw force of expanding gas. Each shot ignites a burst of pressure down the barrel, but a small port near the muzzle diverts some of that energy through a gas tube beneath the barrel. The gas slams into a piston, driving it rearward. That motion unlocks the bolt, rotating it exactly 45 degrees, and sends it sliding back. In a single fluid movement, the spent casing ejects, and the next round rises from the end block clip. The bolt snaps forward, chambers the new round, and locks tight. 8 shots are stacked in the clip, each delivered as fast as a soldier's finger can squeeze the trigger. When the last round leaves the barrel at nearly 2,800 feet per second, the empty clip rockets out of the receiver with a sharp metallic ping, a sound that echoes through memory and battlefield alike. This mechanical ballet transforms raw ammunition into living firepower, giving every infantryman the ability to unleash a torrent of bullets without breaking rhythm or focus. The Garand's internal cycle isn't just a marvel of design, it is the heartbeat of American infantry in motion. A single American squad, armed with M1 Garands, could unleash a storm of bullets that changed the very soundscape of battle. The rifle's semi-automatic action let a soldier fire 16 to 24 aimed shots per minute, double, sometimes triple, what a German with a Kar 98K or a Brit with a Lee Enfield could manage under fire. Where bolt-action rifles forced their users to break rhythm, pausing after each round to work the bolt, the Garand demanded only a steady hand and a finger on the trigger. 8 rounds thundered out in a heartbeat, the end block clip ejected, and a fresh one slammed home in seconds. In the chaos of combat, those seconds mattered. A squad equipped with Garands could lay down a wall of suppressive fire, pinning enemy troops behind rubble and hedgerows, buying precious moments for a flanking move or a desperate retreat. The doctrine of suppression, once the domain of machine guns, became a reality for every rifleman. Each reload was a heartbeat, not an eternity. The rifle's practical rate of fire, measured in lived moments, meant that American infantry could hold ground, break through defenses, and survive the fury of counterattack. In muddy fields and shattered towns, the Garand multiplied the firepower of every man who carried it, turning squads into forces that could dictate the pace of battle. Dawn breaks over Normandy as landing craft grind toward the shore. A squad leader pushes forward, Garand raised, boots sinking in the sand. The rifle's 8-round clip locks in, and the assault surges ahead. Every 15 seconds, a metallic ping rings out, a reload, a breath, then fire resumes. Omaha Beach after-action reports document this rhythm. Clip after clip, swapped under fire, squads clawing up the bluffs. Mud cakes the bolt, powder fouls the barrel, but the rifle keeps firing. In the hedgerows, rain turns fields to mire. Lieutenant Helms describes the Garand's ping echoing through tangled oak, his squad pouring fire into enemy trenches, the rifle's rhythm cutting through green walls. Each man carries 3 loaded clips in his pouch, a 4th in the rifle, 32 rounds before resupply. Inside a ruined French village, a platoon sergeant leads his men through shattered rooms. The Garand's weight is steady in his hands, its semi-automatic action a lifeline. 2 riflemen cover the stairs, reloading before every breach. After-action logs count 150 clips per company per day, ammunition moving through mud and broken glass. In close quarters, the Garand's speed means survival. Its cycle, fire, ping, reload, giving American squads the edge. In the Ardennes, a corporal presses his Garand to his chest, using body heat to keep the rifle ready as the cold bites through layers. Sub-zero air thickens oil and slows the bolt, so every 2 hours men strip the action, clear the gas system, and oil the piston. The Battle of the Bulge tests both rifle and soldier. Frostbitten fingers fumble with metal, but the Garand fires on. A medic recalls treating more men for cold than for wounds, yet the sharp ping of an empty clip means the fight continues. Across the Pacific, a squad armorer faces humidity that seeps into every seam. Sweat and mold threaten the stock, and cleaning becomes constant. Manuals recommend every 2 hours, but in Okinawa's heat, rifles are stripped at every lull. The Garand's gas system resists the damp, cycling round after round as Japanese troops press close. Medics patch bruised shoulders, a mark of the rifle's relentless action. Stories claim the Garand's ping gives away positions, but post-war studies show the sound is lost in battle. What matters is ammunition. In the Ardennes, a company burns through 150 clips daily, straining supply lines, but the rifle endures. In every battered foxhole and frozen trench, the M1 Garand became more than steel. It became survival. Its firepower still echoes in every modern battlefield, shaped by its legacy. Wars change, but the need for courage, innovation, and sacrifice remains. History remembers the weapon. Humanity remembers those who carried it.